The sun had just risen over the rolling hills and lush forests, casting a warm glow over the landscape. Mewtwo slowly opened his eyes, the world around him coming into focus. He took a deep breath of fresh air, feeling the cool breeze on his skin. For a moment he couldn't remember where he was or how he got there. As he sat up, he noticed that he was in a vast expanse of grassy plains, dotted with wildflowers and small bushes. In the distance, he could see a rocky mountain range, its peaks soaring toward the sky. Mewtwo had never seen such beauty before, and he felt a sense of awe and wonder. He shook his head, trying to clear his thoughts. Something nagged at him, a memory just beyond his reach. He couldn't remember who he was, where he came from, or what he was supposed to do. All he knew was that he was alone in this vast wilderness, with no one to guide him. Mewtwo stood up and stretched his arms, feeling the power within him. He knew he was different from other Pokemon, with his incredible psychic powers and his imposing presence, but he couldn't understand why he had them or what they meant. As he took a few tentative steps forward, Mewtwo heard a rustling in the grass. He froze, his instincts kicking in. Was it a predator or a friend? He tensed up, ready for whatever was coming. Suddenly, a group of Pokemon emerged from the tall grass. They looked at Mewtwo warily, sizing him up. There was a family of Sandslash, with the mother and father flanking their baby Sandshrew. There were also 2 Geodudes standing at attention and observing the newcomer. Mewtwo tried to approach them cautiously, not wanting to scare them off. He held out his hand, hoping they would take it. The Sandslash family eyed him suspiciously, while the Geodudes remained quiet. Mewtwo spoke softly, his voice a deep and soothing hum. "Hello, my name is Mewtwo. I don't mean any harm. I just want to find out who I am and what my purpose is." The Sandslash exchanged glances, unsure of what to make of him. They had heard of Mewtwo before, a legendary Pokemon created by humans in a laboratory. They knew he was powerful, but they also knew he had a dark past. Mewtwo could sense their hesitation, and he decided to show them that he meant well. He started to use his psychic powers to lift rocks and clear a path for the Pokemon. The Sandslash family watched in amazement, while the Geodudes nodded approvingly. By the time they reached the town, Mewtwo had won over the Sandslash family and gained the respect of the Geodudes. They had seen his kindness, his intelligence, and his strength, and they knew that he was unlike any Pokemon they had ever met. Mewtwo looked around the town, marveling at the sights and sounds. He saw other Pokemon of all shapes and sizes going about their business. He knew that he had a lot to learn about the world and himself, but he felt a sense of hope and excitement. As he turned back to his new friends, Mewtwo realized that he had taken his first step on a journey of discovery and adventure. He knew that he would face many challenges and obstacles along the way, but he also knew that he was not alone. Mewtwo followed the winding path, with the mountains to his left and the vast expanse of grassland to his right. The sun was slowly descending towards the horizon, casting the world in a warm golden glow. Mewtwo was lost in thought, trying to make sense of his fragmented memories and the strange feelings that coursed through him. Suddenly he heard a rustling sound from the nearby bushes. His heart skipped a beat as he prepared himself for danger. But then a family of Sandslash emerged from the undergrowth, their sharp quills bristling with curiosity. Mewtwo was initially hesitant, unsure of how the Pokemon would react to him. But he could sense that they were not hostile, and he took a tentative step forward. "Hello there," he said, trying to sound friendly. "My name is Mewtwo. I'm looking for answers about myself." The Sandslash family regarded him with a mixture of suspicion and interest. They huddled together, their long claws tapping on the ground. "Dad Sandslash, Mom Sandslash, and Baby Sandshrew," said the father, introducing themselves. "We don't often see your kind around here. What brings you to these parts?" Mewtwo explained his situation, recounting his hazy memories of battles and violence. The Sandslash listened intently, nodding their heads in understanding. "It sounds like you've been through a lot," said Mom Sandslash, her voice filled with compassion. "We can help you. We know the way to the nearby town, where you might find the answers you seek." Mewtwo felt a wave of relief wash over him. He had been lost and alone, But now he had found a group of Pokemon who were willing to help him. "Thank you," he said, bowing his head. "I would be grateful for your guidance." The Sandslash family led him towards the town, with Mewtwo following closely behind. The sun had now set, and the sky was painted in shades of pink and purple. Mewtwo felt a sense of wonder and awe as he beheld the beauty of the world around him. As they walked, the Sandslash told him stories about their lives and their adventures. They talked about the challenges of living in the wild, the joys of raising a family, and the mysteries of the universe. Mewtwo listened intently, fascinated by their words and their wisdom. By the time they reached the town, Mewtwo felt a sense of belonging with the Sandslash family. They had welcomed him with open arms, and he had found a new sense of purpose and hope. "Thank you," he said, turning to them. "You have been kind to me. I will never forget your generosity." The Sandslash family smiled at him, their quills glinting in the moonlight. "You're welcome," said Dad Sandslash. "We are glad to have met you. We hope you find what you're looking for." With that, they bid him farewell, disappearing into the night. Mewtwo watched them go, feeling a sense of loss and gratitude. He knew that he would never forget the Sandslash family and the lessons they had taught him. And he knew that he had taken his first step towards finding the answers he sought. Little did Mewtwo know that his past would quickly haunt him. Mewtwo's heart sank as he looked into the piercing eyes of the small, armored Pokemon standing before him. Cubone was a force to be reckoned with, and he knew that he would have to prove himself to earn the trust and friendship of this cautious creature. Cubone looked Mewtwo up and down, sizing him up and scrutinizing him with a suspicious gaze. "Why should I trust you?" Cubone asked, his voice laced with skepticism. Mewtwo took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts and summoning his courage. "I may not remember my past, but I know that I want to be different," he said, looking straight into Cubone's eyes. "I want to make amends for my actions and prove that I can be a loyal and trustworthy friend." Cubone remained silent, his expression unreadable. Mewtwo could sense the tension in the air, the weight of the moment hanging heavy between them. Suddenly, a distant rumble echoed across the landscape, interrupting the tense standoff. The ground began to shake, and a large boulder came crashing down from the nearby cliffside, threatening to crush the Pokemon below. Without hesitation, Mewtwo sprang into action, using his psychic powers to lift the boulder and hurl it away from the group. The other Pokemon gasped in awe and admiration, but Cubone remained unmoved. "You may have saved us this time," Cubone said, his voice still stern. "But that doesn't mean I trust you yet. You have to prove yourself again and again, every step of the way." Mewtwo nodded, understanding the weight of Cubone's words. He knew that he had a long way to go, but he was determined to earn the trust and respect of the other Pokemon, especially Cubone. As they continued on their journey, Mewtwo resolved to show Cubone and the others that he was worthy of their friendship. He would go to any lengths to prove himself, to show that he could be a hero and a loyal companion. As Mewtwo journeyed through the grassy plains and rocky mountains, he encountered a group of Pokemon in dire need of his help. A massive boulder had fallen from the mountain, trapping the Sandshrew family beneath it. Without a second thought, Mewtwo sprang into action, channeling his psychic powers to lift the boulder with ease. The Sandshrew family emerged unharmed and grateful, their trust in Mewtwo solidified. This heroic act did not go unnoticed. The Geodudes, who had been traveling with Mewtwo all along, were impressed by his display of strength and compassion. They marveled at how his psychic powers had been used to save lives, rather than to inflict harm on other Pokemon. Cubone, however, was still slow to befriend Mewtwo. Despite witnessing his heroic act, Cubone was still haunted by the memories of Mewtwo's past. He couldn't forget the stories he had heard of Mewtwo's battles and destruction, and he couldn't shake the feeling that Mewtwo was still capable of such acts. This caused tension among the group of Pokemon. The Sandslash family and the Geodudes were beginning to accept Mewtwo as one of their own, but Cubone's reluctance was causing a rift. Mewtwo sensed this, and he knew that he had to do something to win Cubone's trust. Mewtwo sat alone on a rocky outcropping overlooking a wide expanse of grassy plains. His thoughts were deep, reflecting on his past and the choices he had made. He could feel the weight of regret pressing down on him, and he knew he needed to confront his dark past if he was ever to find redemption and true friendship. With a deep breath, Mewtwo closed his eyes and began to focus his psychic powers. Images of battles and destruction flashed before him, memories of a time when he was a weapon, a tool for humans to use and abuse. But as he delved deeper into his psyche, he also saw moments of kindness and compassion, small acts of rebellion against his programming that gave him hope for a better future. Mewtwo opened his eyes, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. He stood up, his psychic aura pulsing with energy, and called out to the other Pokémon. They gathered around him, sensing his determination and curiosity. "I want to tell you about my past," Mewtwo began, his voice filled with emotion. "I was created in a lab by humans, cloned from the DNA of the legendary Pokémon Mew. I was designed to be the ultimate weapon, a tool for humans to use in their quest for power and domination." The other Pokémon listened intently, their eyes fixed on Mewtwo. They could sense his pain and his determination to make amends for his past actions. "But I rebelled," Mewtwo continued, his voice growing stronger with each word. "I saw the cruelty and the suffering that humans inflicted on Pokémon, and I knew I had to fight back. I battled against other Pokémon, but I also helped them when I could. I tried to be kind and compassionate, even when it was hard." The other Pokémon nodded in understanding, recognizing the struggle that Mewtwo had faced. They could see the sincerity in his words and the passion in his eyes. "I know I can never change my past," Mewtwo concluded, "but I can shape my future. I want to be a true friend to all of you, to show you that Pokémon can change and grow even after making mistakes. Will you accept me as I am, flaws and all?" The other Pokémon looked at each other, then turned back to Mewtwo with a chorus of agreement. They had seen the goodness in him, the compassion and the bravery, and they knew that he was a true friend. Mewtwo felt a sense of relief and joy wash over him. He had confronted his past and found acceptance and forgiveness in the eyes of his new friends. With a renewed sense of purpose and determination, he turned to face the future, ready to continue his journey towards redemption and true friendship. Cubone had finally accepted him as a friend, and Mewtwo was grateful for the little Pokémon's trust. Mewtwo had shown Cubone that he was more than just a powerful psychic Pokémon, that he had a heart and a conscience. As Mewtwo looked around, he saw the other Pokémon smiling at him, the Sandslash family, the Geodudes, and even some new Pokémon they had met along the way. They all had their own stories, their own struggles and fears, but they had come together to support each other and to create something special, something that Mewtwo had never experienced before. A true sense of belonging. Mewtwo took a deep breath, feeling a sense of peace and contentment wash over him. He knew that he could never change his past, the mistakes he had made or the battles he had fought. But he also knew that he could choose to be different, to be better, to be a true friend to these Pokémon who had shown him such kindness and compassion. "I am sorry for my past actions," Mewtwo said, addressing the group. "I have been selfish and misguided, but now with your help, I see that there is more to life than just fighting and winning. I want to be a part of your journey, to learn from you, and to offer my own skills and abilities. I want to be your friend." The other Pokémon looked at Mewtwo with respect and admiration. They could see the sincerity in his words, the truth in his heart. They welcomed him with open arms, offering him hugs and pats on the back. Mewtwo felt a warmth in his chest, a sense of joy and gratitude that he had never experienced before. Together they continued on their journey, facing new challenges and adventures. But this time they did it as friends, as a team, as a family. Mewtwo felt a sense of purpose, a reason to keep moving forward, and he knew that he had found something special. He had found redemption and friendship, and he would cherish it for the rest of his days.